Welcome back, guys. So to kick off this tutorial, we are going to start with the eyes, and we are priming the eyes using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm just carving out her brow bone to start with, and then I'm dragging that down onto the eyelids. We're going to use this as a eyeshadow base, and we are just going to switch up brushes and buff that in, just because this brush is a lot better to buff in the product. Then we're going to kick it off using the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, and we're going to take this beautiful purple shade, which is called Amethyst, and we're going to run this through the crease area. Now, I've left as much blending in this video as possible. I like to show you guys what I do, so what I've done is just sped everything up, obviously to shorten the video, but yeah, I feel like a lot of tutorials cut out a lot of stuff, so I kind of wanted to show you guys actually the process, and it does take a while, like blending and stuff. So yeah, just running this through the crease and building up the color. And then we're going to take the Dream palette by Sigma, picking up that beautiful pink shade. I'm not sure of the name, but I will leave it down below just because I don't have the palette on me at the moment. We're going to take a more fluffy brush and run that through the crease. So I am kind of going a little bit above the crease. We're just going to blend out that purple that we put through the crease. We kind of want a nice gradient of color, so a nice faded wash. Now I will list all the brushes that I use down below also. And then we're going to go back in with Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and we're just going to place that in to the center of the eyelid. Now you could see that I got her to look straight ahead. This is just so the concealer transfers, and it kind of gives me an idea of where, like how high to take the concealer. Yeah, and then I just switch up brushes, and I'm going to blend that concealer just so it's not really like any sharp lines, and that it blends into the eyeshadow nicely. Okay, now I'm not sure what color I used. I think I just used like a nice vanilla shade out of that Desert Dust palette. I forgot to film it, and I just patted that on to the concealer to set it down. And then I just go back in with the purple from the Huda Beauty palette and blend that together. And then I'm going to take the red shade out of the Huda Beauty palette. Now this is going a little bit too fast for me and I can't get my words out. But yeah, I'm taking an angled brush and I'm just really packing that into the inner and outer corners of the eye. And then for liner, I use the Ingot Gel Liner, which is my favorite liner at the moment. And I just simply created a wing and then just wiped off any under eye fallout. And then we're moving on to the face. This is the Estee Lauder Illuminizing Primer, which is really, really pretty on the skin. So I just placed that all on her face and blended that in using a stipple brush. And then I'm going to use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I love this foundation for like a light coverage, and it works so well if you have like really good skin. So I'm just applying that using a buffing brush from Sigma, and this foundation is so expensive, might I add. There's a lot more out there like that are cheaper, that are work just as well as this foundation, but I wanted to give it a go and I really like it. And then I'm going to go in again with the Tarte Shape Tape and just place that underneath her eyes and down the center of her face, and then just go in and blend that out like I usually do. I decided I wanted to do like a nice glowy look, but still have that kind of like full coverage look as well, if that makes sense. So yeah, I tried to also use brushes in this video. I always use the Beauty Blender, and I just wanted to switch it up and use brushes. And yeah, I used all of my favorite brushes from Sigma, of course, that I will leave listed down below. So you can see underneath the eye as well, I kind of blend it out from like the bottom up and then switch up brushes just to kind of get right up underneath that eye, and like really blend it out and leave no like skin showing through, if that makes sense. And then we're going to bronze the face using the Chanel Soleil de Tan. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not too sure. But this is such a beautiful bronzer. It's more of a like a warm bronzer, not like a cool tone bronzer, and I'm just going to place that obviously everywhere I would normally contour. And yeah, this just leaves a very pretty finish on the skin. I absolutely love it. I don't use it enough. It is quite expensive, but it's super pretty, and yeah, it just worked really well with this look. She's literally so gorgeous, and her skin is so amazing. So this was like super easy to do on her. And then to blend out all the bronzer, I just used the same brush as I used to apply the foundation. To set down the concealer, I use the Mineralized Skin Finish in Light by MAC, just on a highlighting brush by Sigma. Like I said, I just feel like you can use any brush for kind of anything. There's no really rules, but yeah, let's move on. So we're going to set down that bronzer, and I decided to use the Becca BFF palette, and I took that nice kind of satiny bronzy shade from the palette, and yeah, just went over all the places that I placed down the bronzer. And using the same brush that we used to set underneath the eyes, I'm taking the yellow shade out of the NYX contour palette. I forgot to film that, but I'm just cleaning up her contour. And then I'm going to take this blush by, I think it's from The Balm. It's so pretty. It's like an apricot-y, peachy kind of pinky color. I'm just so obsessed with it. It looks so pretty. We just placed that on her cheeks, and then went back into the BFF palette by Becca, and I took that first highlight, well, the only highlighter in the palette, and just highlighted all the highest points on her face. Like I said, we're going with a beautiful, like super glowy look because her skin is amazing. And yeah, this just worked perfect on her skin tone. I like this shade better on more of a lighter skin tone. It just gets a little bit too ashy on someone who's like tanned. But moving back onto the eyes, we're just going to smudge in the same purple shade that we used on top of the lid out of the Huda Beauty palette underneath the eyes, and then switching up brushes to a pencil brush. I just smoked it out with the same pink shade that we used out of the Sigma palette underneath the eyes. And then moving on to the waterline, we use the Ingot Gel Liner in number 76, I do believe. This is just a nice white shade. I like to do 2 layers of this. The first layer I like to do, and then I let it dry, and then do a second layer just so it's super bright. For mascara, we decided just to do a pink one from NYX because, I mean, I don't know, we were just playing around and I thought it'd be cool just to try something different. It didn't really turn out, you know, much different to what I thought. It just looks like she's got no mascara on the bottom. But anyway, let's move on to brows, and I use the Precisely My Brow by Benefit, which is just the most amazing pencil. I love this so much. And yeah, I just started off by defining her brows and then filling in any sparse areas. She had really nice, like fluffy brows anyway, and she had a really nice shape, so I didn't really have to like shape it much or do much. So yeah, that was really easy. Made my job so much easier. But yeah, let's move on. I feel like I'm talking so much. I'm using this Steeler eyeshadow. I forget what the shade's called, but it's just like this pretty like wet glittery shade that I popped on in the inner corner. I will leave it listed down below if you guys wanted to check that out. But yeah, that was just to spice up the look a bit. And then for lips, I do believe we use Strip Down by MAC Cosmetics, which is just a nice like nudie brown shade. She has the most perfect lips. Look at them, they are so natural. And yeah, we just lined the lips, and I filled in the outer corners of the lips as well, just to give it a little bit of an ombre effect. And then we just took Flesh Pot by MAC. I think this is Flesh Pot or Myth. I will leave it down below, but it was one of them two. And then, yeah, we just blended that in with a eyeshadow brush just because I wanted, I still wanted that nice dark line, but I didn't want it like really harsh. And then back to the brows. I feel like we're just ping-ponging back and forth here. I use Gimme Brow by Benefit Cosmetics just to set her brows and to make them nice and fluffy and natural. And that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. She looks so beautiful. And don't forget to like it if you enjoyed watching it. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!